You darn right this meeting is recorded because Sports Stalls is back. Ladies and gentlemen, another season underway. We are 3 weeks in. We got college football back, and we are hitting the swing of things. As always, yours truly, Josh Stahl, reigning champion of Season 4, coming at you live.
And we're in week 4. And before we review last weekend, and we got to hang out, Josh.
Sure did.
We have a guest picker here.
Oh, baby. This is a special guest picker. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on none other than the most handsomest, kindest, sweetest man Minnesota has produced. This is Ryan Weber, ladies and gentlemen, Winona State graduate, college roommate of mine. You know what? I could go on and on. Ryan Weber, great to have you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Glad to be on.
Yes,
Father,
welcome.
father of 3. Forgot that part. Incredible.
Thank you.
So first time being on, I texted you a few days ago, and said, hey, Minnesota's playing Iowa. I need an Iowa fan. What were your thoughts when you're like, maybe I'll be on a podcast?
To be honest, I'm nervous about this game. So when you asked me about it, it's not like years past where I felt a little confident, having 7 wins in a row against the Gophers. But this one's got me getting nervous, and especially away from home, it doesn't help any either.
Yeah, no kidding. And I was gonna say, as always, you got the rest of the Big Ten, so we'll get to the Minnesota-Iowa game. But I was gonna say, we got to talk smack about every other Big Ten team that played well, didn't play well, everything like that. So just pretend we are back in Liberty's beautiful living room.
Luxury living room.
Luxury. All 3 couches and 2 TVs and a coffee table full of beer cans and leftover
whatever may be.
Whatever it may, and a lit candle, a Woodwick lit candle.
There you go.
Yeah. But before we get going too far, we're going down memory lane. Let's stop it right there, Dad. We need that intro.
Hey, it's time for their intro, coming right at you. Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, baby. Yes, indeed. Ryan Weber, I told you, hopefully I didn't build it up too much.
It's not what you expected, is it?
No, not at all.
No.
It always exceeds every guess. It's unbelievable, and you got the same reaction, and I'm just like, wow, the wow factor.
That's hilarious.
Okay, let's we could go on and on about the intro, but we have to look at the results from last week.
Let's do that. Let's look at
Josh has got to feel happy about this.
First time, it was wonderful. Hit a confidence pick, led the picks, which is great. So yeah, feeling really good. But boy, when we missed, we missed bad. Like when I picked Purdue to withstand the 10-point deficits against Notre Dame, and they just put up 66 on them.
Yeah,
did not see that coming.
Did you see who picked Notre Dame in that one?
Yeah. No, I saw that. Were any games last week that you watched that you were either just like, yep, classic, or surprised by?
The Indiana over the Bruins.
Yes.
The Bruins. That was a big one. They went in there and they just mopped them, which
it opened up a can of what, but
yeah, dude. I did not see that coming. I picked them, thankfully I was the only one who picked them.
Yeah.
But I did not see an ass kicking like that from Indiana at UCLA. So, I think that says a lot about Indiana, and it kind of makes UCLA look real bad.
Right. I think some secret, the classic Big Ten, you want them to just mop up all the Pac-12.
I'm with you.
I think
I'm with you.
Everyone can agree with you on that.
And it's nice to see in that specific game alone. So
Definitely.
The rest of the season.
On the spreadsheet, we have all three of us got the confidence pick. What I think is so funny is Josh, remember Alex and Sam arguing, and Sam put her foot down and said, no, Alabama is the confidence pick.
Yeah, Weber, we had two sisters on here, and they had to agree upon what their confidence pick was. And you know, not to name names, one sister kind of knew what she was looking at and picking. The other sister was just like, I don't know, like Michigan State maybe or something. And it took over, and that was a great pick because Alabama stomped Wisconsin just like we all thought they would.
Right.
And Minnesota dominated that spread, so that was great. Illinois eked out their spread, but hey, we all got the confidence.
Barely.
Yeah.
Also, some secret rivalry games too between Oregon State, and Washington State, and
yes,
Washington. Those are.
I was so surprised, like, because I kind of talked about, like, you never know what those rankings are when you go into a rivalry game. You don't know, and basically, I just flip flopped because I was like, okay, I think Oregon State will stick with Oregon. When vice versa, it was Washington State outing Washington, which was super impressive. Love to see it.
Right. And even crazy too, those two games are usually at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not in the beginning like most other rivalry games. So that's crazy that they got them early and in their kind of non-conference period. So
I was waiting for Penix to pull off the game for the Huskies in that one, but no fourth down magic.
Yeah, not happening. But needless to say, Gophers win. Iowa did win, but not by as much as they needed to win. And I put faith in them, Weber, and that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that was if you would have asked me at halftime or third quarter, I think we were going to lose that one for sure. But they pulled away and they figured it out. So,
and Alex and Sam in the sibling rivalry they tied. They got the confidence pick 3-3. The spread only got 7. So Josh, you beat the spread.
Oh, nice.
Going to Vegas, baby. I'm taking that paycheck with me. Let's make it happen.
So that brings the grand total. Yes,
okay.
are kicking butt still at 25. I'm at 24, and Josh is at 22. And really, the only difference is exactly what you said, Josh. The confidence point, because the guests have gotten the confidence pick all 3 weeks. I've gotten the confidence pick 2 of the 3, and you've gotten it once.
Like literally, that is the difference. And and so finally hit one, and wham bam. Confidence picks are huge this year. So if I lose, that is my excuse already to be like, take the confidence pick out, drop them back 5 points, I win. So
there you go.
You can already see it coming, Weber. Like I'm already thinking week 13 bowl week, and I'm like, if I lose by a little, you can guarantee
those damn confidence games.
Damn confidence. I'll tell you, I'm confident every time I pick.
Who thought of that dumb thing?
Gosh, got to keep us on our toes. But without further ado,
12 games. We got to get going.
We got games. Only 12 games, not 18. It's great. So let's get it started. We got Weber to start us off. Illinois traveling to Nebraska. 2 teams doing rather well in the Big Ten. Nebraska favored by 9 points. What's happening?
I'm taking the Huskers on this one. Mm-hmm. And the Huskers have all the hype for this game.
For sure.
So quick stat is in a decade, this is the first time both teams have been ranked at Memorial Stadium for a night game. Wow. This night game is also the 400th consecutive sold out game at Memorial Stadium.
Yes.
Dang.
So they are going to be going crazy.
They got some hype behind it.
Busting with the boys. Will Compton is bringing up this game and riling up the Husker Nation. So I think the Huskers pull out the W, and I think Dylan Ryle is going to throw the ball and sling it all over the place. And that Dowdell, that running back, he is a stud. He's fun to watch. So
I couldn't agree more. I am riding high on Nebraska. You know, they came in this year ready to rock and roll. Illinois has been doing well. They just beat the crap out of Central Michigan, sure. But the big factor is it's at Memorial. They have all this hype around it. Now that I know, I didn't even know all that, Webs. So literally, I'm going Nebraska for sure, winning and covering. It'll be a good game, but I think they get out early and withstand it the rest of the game.
Right. Not so fast, guys.
Oh.
Josh, guess what's coming?
Oh, the algorithm. Dean's got 3 games, 3 weeks of college football.
We have
and now
data.
He's got data points. So now he's going to try and beat us with science and math.
Mr. Analytics Dean. There you go.
Yeah,
Analytics,
exactly.
baby. And can't argue with the numbers. I want Nebraska, and I think Nebraska is going to win. I truly think they're going to win the game. They are not going to win by 9.
That's okay.
So I have the analytics has Nebraska winning by 4.5. That is not 9. So yeah, Nebraska will win, will not cover. That gives me my first steal from you two.
Yeah, early and often, Dean. All right. See, this one makes me uncomfortable, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. We have Charlotte traveling to the Midwest, playing Indiana. Indiana favored by 28 points. Big spread for the Hoosiers.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about this pick. Weber, maybe you can talk some sense into me, sway me one way or the other.
Well, I mean, we're kind of big FCS fans, I think, with all of us liking NDSU and stuff. So we followed the years where NDSU'd always played James Madison in the playoffs there. And I didn't realize, but pretty much all the JMU coaching staff went to Indiana.
Oh,
and they pulled all that JMU kids through the transfer portal to the Indiana with them. So they love to sling the ball and they love offense. So
yeah, they love scoring points.
I'm going to take Indiana, and I'm going to think they're going to do it. I mean, if they did that against UCLA last week,
I know.
I think they can do it.
That's the hard part, and they're playing at home. So here's my only part that my stall part 1 comes in here is they're coming off a pretty big win, traveling to UCLA, winning a big game, winning a Big Ten game. You know, they're gonna win this game, but it's just a matter of geez, are they not gonna prepare as much, or are they just gonna ride high and excel and just leap board off of this win in UCLA? Because I often see it. You have a good, nice, solid win. It's either you have the hangover effect or it freaking bounds you to score 50 points in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing it. I think they're playing well. I will also go Indiana. Oh my gosh. 28 points is so Let's go Hoosiers. We're going Big Ten. Let's make it happen.
Well, what was the Purdue versus Notre Dame last week? It was what, 60?
Notre Dame's spread was favored by 10, and they put up 66.
I don't know, maybe.
It says a lot about Purdue.
Yeah.
Well,
what'd you say, Dean?
Let's give you the analytics here. It's more so what Charlotte isn't doing, that they have that solid 1 win of the year.
Good win.
Offense is ranked 101. Defense is ranked 113.
Right where you want to be. Dangerous spot.
Out of 133.
Yeah.
The thing that's blowing me away is, yes, Indiana, they're a bunch of gunslingers and their offense goes crazy and they're ranked 11th in the country on offense, but their defense is number 3.
I didn't know.
Now, granted, this is all his data is based on who they played.
Yep, but one of them was a Big Ten team.
1 of 3, just saying.
So they do have one of the weakest schedules, but we're going with the analytics. It has Indiana winning by 37.5.
Baby, chalk them up. Go Hoosiers. All right, we all agree upon that. Way to get us started, Weber. I was gonna say you make a lot of good points. It's gonna be hard to hear your opinion and go away from that.
We can
But
change up the order.
I do have my own opinions here.
Josh,
Next
okay, go to the next one and then ask Ryan our random that Ohio State random where that you run into that random fan or that random flag or that random there's always that Ohio State fan lingering out there somewhere.
Bucky.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Big nut, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, just a nut. Weber, do you have a random, like, do you ever run into a random Ohio State fan? Like in the neighborhood, maybe? Because I'll tell you my story. Basically, everyone who's listened to this podcast in years past, I rip on this neighbor who I have never met a day in my life. And I drive past his stupid house on the stupid corner twice a day, once leaving the neighborhood, once coming back. And this dude just flies a Cornhusker, or not Cornhusker, an Ohio State Buckeye flag just on the corner of his house for every car to drive by. And I've never met them ever, rarely even see them. And I just already don't like them. So there's my random Ohio State fan that I have to deal with daily.
I feel like I come across more Michigan fans. Like I feel like they've come out of the woodwork since the national championship, and there's a couple in our neighborhood that they are boisterous and are willing to fly that M and that maize and blue any way they can get it. So
yeah,
I was gonna say
argue with that.
Easy to do coming off a national championship. You're high and mighty.
You are.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just you wait till I was gonna say this Michigan's got a matchup. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But hate Ohio State fans. Let's go. Marshall playing at Ohio State. Ohio State, huge spread, 39.5 points against Marshall. Oh. Dude, big spread scare me.
Yeah. I think
yeah,
I think Ohio State's gonna definitely do it. I think they've got that the complete package as far as all the athletes at all the right positions on offense and defense this year.
Yep.
I mean, it's do or die for Day this year. I feel like if they don't make it to the national championship, and I think they're gonna keep on pumping up their fans by putting up big numbers and big offense. So I think I got Ohio State.
I just get nervous with big spreads, and this one I feel confident. I feel confident that OSU. This isn't my confidence pick. I just don't like Ohio State. Big spreads with them. I'm not a fan this early in the season. Whatever, they'll win. But we're going Marshall. Marshall will prevent the spread. I'm not comfortable saying Ohio State's going to win by 40. Call it what you will. Don't like them. Don't want to see them succeed. They'll win, but I want to see him sweat a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. Ohio State has something to prove. They were really 3 plays away from pushing Michigan out of the playoff last year.
Sure.
And OSU will win, will cover. Number 1 defense, and Marshall's just Marshall. So OSU will win, will cover.
Yeah, but Matthew McConaughey played their coach at one point in time. So he led them back to a great season. He's going to
So that should be worth something.
That's worth something. Apparently only in my book. Enough about Ohio State. They're done. Screw them. Moving on. Villanova traveling to Maryland. Maryland is favored 21 points.
I saw this one. I had to take a second glance. I was like, Villanova's got a football team?
Yeah, I think
talking about them in the wrong month right now.
Putting their basketball players out in some pads, see what happens.
Yeah. I think I'm taking Villanova on this one. I don't think Maryland's going to cover it. I don't think it at all. Because
I mean, it's tough. I have no idea. I have literally zero knowledge of ever hearing of Villanova's football team. Yeah. But golly, I have a hard time going against Maryland. they had a nice solid win. I'm gonna stick with the Terps on this one. Okay, I started week 1 this season. I was riding high last season on Maryland. They've kind of been rocky ravy, but I'm gonna go Maryland on this one. Win and cover. We'll go with Big Ten on this one. A little bit smaller spread makes me comfortable.
And everybody's kind of on them this year too, because they finally got out of that big bad East, the Big Ten, feeling like they can prove and do more with just a normal schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, they last week they time of possession they just dominated Virginia, and they stole 4 turnovers. And this is one of the big ones in my analytics. They are number 1 in takeaways and turnovers. They're in the groove. Maryland will win, will cover.
Bam. There we go. Not that I'm gonna watch that game, but we'll see what happens. All right.
Speaking of spreads, Josh.
Honestly, I feel this one's. Oh, I'll say my opinion. Kent State traveling to Penn State. Penn State favored 48.5 points. Ryan Weber.
Jeez.
Yeah. It doesn't get easy, man. I'll tell you that.
I'm taking Kent State.
Think about it.
I'm taking Kent State. I think Penn State, they're just going to continue to disappoint their whole fan base, and they're going to slip up this year and still not make the 12-team playoff. And I obviously it's not going to happen on this game, but I don't think they're gonna cover by chance at all.
I don't think so. I remember I was doing my lovely research not too far ago, about maybe 30 minutes ago, but Kent State got kind of walloped last week. I think they got shut out and gave up maybe 70 points, which is why I think the spread is so big. But again, I don't know if I can picture Penn State putting up 50 points in a game against Kent State. It is just tough. I have a hard time going, especially with Penn State, who I don't think is as good as they always think they are.
This is where you say, Ryan, you just say, Josh, make your pick. He's rambling and stalled.
We're going to go with the sister-in-law alumni, graduated Kent State, will prevent the cover. This is for you, Avery. Let's go. Roll Tide. It's not Alabama, but you know what I mean. Go Golden Flashes. Let's go. That is a fact.
This one, my head and my heart wants to go with you two on this. The analytics
numbers more than people. So,
oh my gosh. Scoring defense 133 out of 133.
Bad.
Scoring offense 126 out of 133.
Man. They're not good.
And they haven't won. They're not even been close.
Until now.
Penn State is going to win and going to cover. We'll see. This is a true analytic test.
This is 100% a test to your algorithm, but we'll see. All right, now don't worry. We're getting out of the crazy spreads here. We're getting back into normal territory, a little bit more fun. Rutgers at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech favored 3.5 points.
So they're saying this is an even game with the 3 points for being at home. This is just a toss the coin.
Oh, dude. I was gonna say with Vatek, with Metallica pumping Enter Sandman. Oh, that's a 10-point swing just with that song in the intro alone.
Yeah. It's hard for me to stay Big Ten on this one. I got Vatek for sure. Yeah, I don't think the Scarlet Knights are gonna be able to stay in that atmosphere, and they've never been part of the Big Ten anyways, so
I don't have any true faith or ties to those Scarlet Knights over there. I couldn't agree more. Virginia Tech's home field is nuts. I remember in college just blaring Enter Sandman. Garrett Nelson would just freaking love pumping that shit up and just going nuts. And it's going to be electric. I just don't think Rutgers have it to keep it within them. Virginia Tech, I think that's an easy pick for me.
Oh, this one bothers me.
Haha, you and your numbers.
Our former Gopher quarterback is actually hitting the receivers, unlike what he did last year. Ethan can actually find the receiver down the field.
Yes.
Virginia Tech is one of my dark horse favorites because they have 22 starters coming back.
That's nice.
That's impressive.
That's quality.
Analytics has Rutgers winning by 15.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to Vegas with these analytics right now, Weber.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So I'm picking Rutgers. Ethan, see if you got the magic in Rutgers. Say we're planning a Rutgers road trip November 9th, Ryan. Sounds pretty fun, doesn't it?
Wow. I'm going to have to
Weber, I think I can convince Ashley November 9th. That's a nice little anniversary date. I think I can get Ashley on board.
There you go.
Get it out to the East Coast. We'll bring Harrison. We'll just take a few days. Ashley's up to 14 hours of PTO after leave. All right. So
should be enough for the whole drive there.
Yeah. Spend it if you got it. Am I right? And then we'll drive all day Sunday just to go back to work on Monday. I think I can sell around this.
Okay, good. So we're all in. So that sounds cool.
Yeah, we're set. Perfect. Put it in cement. It's golden. All right. UCLA traveling to LSU, Death Valley. UCLA coming off that tough loss we talked about. LSU favored 23 points. Weber, to you.
I've got LSU here. I think they are going to be pissed off, just barely squeaking a couple wins the last 2 weeks by. I think Brian Kelly, I wouldn't ever play for that man, but he's a scary dude, and I think he's going to be just up their buttholes this week, getting them ready to go. And I've got the Tigers for sure.
I'm strictly going, if Indiana can do that to UCLA with Indiana talent, what can LSU do to them at home? Hands down, LSU win and cover.
Initially, when I read this, I was thinking exactly with you guys, but LSU's numbers are less than average. And,
this is where I think your numbers are skewed because you're comparing LSU that has to play SEC teams to Big Ten that have to play Big Ten.
Wait a minute. UCLA played Indiana.
Dude, I'm just saying. Indiana played pretty much no one.
LSU has not played an SEC team yet.
Yeah, but they played a pretty tough USC team.
Yes, they did.
Valid point.
So I think LSU will definitely win, but they will not cover. It will be just under the bar.
Weber, this is where we run away. And Josh, run away from Dean. But
Dean, what's the analytics say for LSU's defense and offense? What do they rank them?
LSU's let's see here. LSU's production defense 91, production offense 66.
Wow.
I know that shocked me, especially the defense.
Yeah, because they're supposed to have like just some studs that are going to be top.
NFL draft pick and everything like that.
Right. That's wild. Huh.
And this is the part, and we saw in the USC game, they are ranked 116 in penalties. They make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, that's tough. Like when you make those mistakes, I was gonna say I like your analytics about the penalties, turnovers. Like, dude, if you're winning turnover battles, if you have a positive for turnovers, it's hard to lose games when you're stealing the ball and taking possessions away from them, giving yourself a chance. Turnovers is such a big one to me.
Right.
And literally, just a little off topic, like Vikings versus 49ers this past weekend. Vikings had just turnovers and they just turned them into some points or something. They just kept taking the ball away. They're not scoring. We're scoring a little. So that part, of your analytics, I couldn't agree with more. Turnovers are huge. More chances you get to score, odds are you're going to win.
Right.
All righty. Here we go.
Going to the big house.
Going to the big house. We got a Big Ten matchup, which is silly to say, but here we are. USC traveling to Michigan. USC is favored by 6 points against Michigan. What do you think, Weber? It's crazy to call it a Big Ten matchup. It's usually a Rose Bowl matchup, but here we have it.
I'm going opposite here. I got USC. I think that Miller Moss is the deal. I think Lincoln's got his defense figured out with that new defensive coordinator in there.
Yeah.
So I think Michigan's still hung over from Archie coming in there and showing off his Manning name.
Yeah.
I've got USC.
I've been just unimpressed with Michigan thus far this season. Like, they're reigning national champions, but they got to get it in their head. That was last year. Like, you have a different head coach. Yes, he's a guy who won you many games. You have a whole different team here, but you got to realize, like, the past is in the past. Congratulations on your national championship. Let's focus on what's going on here, because you got throttled by UT at home. And I frankly think USC is going to stick it to them as well. Michigan needs to change something, but I don't think it's going to be this week. I'm going to go SC over Michigan at home.
I'm glad we finally agree on one, because
numbers
I feel bad stealing from you guys. The quarterback situation is just beautiful in SC. I just think after they beat LSU and he was so choked up, you know, he sat behind Caleb all last year and then comes in and, you know, it was like in a day and age that he could have written his ticket anywhere.
Yeah.
USC is, they are the real deal. They will win. They will cover.
Yeah. I am surprised with a 6-point spread. Like, yes, it's Michigan and everything, you know, a ranked opponent, but I'm surprised that it's only 6. I think this might be a 2-touchdown game, to be honest.
In Michigan, didn't they come out saying they benched the starter and they're starting that the last name, that Orgy guy? That's such an unfortunate
that won't get any media attention whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's never a good thing if you're benching after 3 weeks and you're like, nope, this isn't the guy.
Headlines all through Michigan: starter Orgy, you know.
Yeah. Michigan's all in on Orgy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Trying something new. Michigan going with Orgy.
Orgy.
Yeah. Team bonding surrounds Orgy. Yeah. Sorry, I could go on.
Looking for a spark.
I like that one the best. Looking for a spark in the season. Yeah. Going to Orgy.
You can just feel the difference.
Goodness. I can't. This is too much, Dad. Too much. All right. Moving, we'll take things down a little bit right now. We have another Big Ten matchup. Northwestern traveling to the West Coast, playing Washington. Washington favored by 10.5 points. Ryan Weber.
Oh, this one's tough for me. I mean, Washington didn't look very good last week, and Northwestern still can't figure out their identity, I feel like.
Nope.
I feel like they're still missing Fitzgerald and all that he did for that program there, but I'm gonna take Northwestern on this one.
I have a hard time. Like, I was surprised seeing that Washington lost to Washington State. I was kind of in awe, and that's going to be a kick to the nuts for them in this season. Like, that's a bad loss for a ranked team and everything like that. I just don't think Northwestern can keep up with them. I'm going to go Washington at home, 10.5 points. I'll take them winning by 11 right now.
Yeah, the analytics, Washington made a lot of penalties this year so far, and they they had a tough time in the red zone, as we saw at the end of the game. But they have the most transfers in the country. Each week they're going to get better. They have some athletes. This one, I think Washington is going to barely cover, but Washington to win and cover.
Yeah, it'll be close. They'll figure it out. Yeah, I it just feels right. Coming off a loss, they know that they have something to say this season. In their eyes, they're still trying to get into the playoffs, so they got a lot to fight for still. One-loss teams, they're getting into the playoffs for sure. All right, down to the nitty-gritty. Ryan, this is why you are here. This is what we wanted to hear. Minnesota is taking on Iowa in Minneapolis. Floyd of Rosedale up for grabs. The spread is Iowa by 3. Tell us what's going to happen.
I think it's going to be like always a low scoring game. I feel like, what's the over under? 35.5.
I think last year it was like 25 or something. Like it was low. Iowa last year, the over under was
making it come lower and lower.
record low over unders.
I think I'm taking the Hawks for sure. I think they cover and they hold it by just having the defense out there and stopping the Gophers on a game-winning drive or even a game-winning field goal. And I'm gonna chalk it up to the Hawks defense that have been carrying the Hawkeyes for the last 5 years, it seems like.
Yeah, I was gonna say their defense is out of this world, which is incredible. Yeah. And I think the funny part about Iowa in the past 5 years is seeing their it's tight end university, seeing their tight ends playing in the NFL and they're studs in the NFL. And it's like, you had these NFL candidates and like, what didn't your offense figure out, like having these stud athletes on your team year after year? And now it's granted, it's tight ends, it's one position, but it's like you had some NFL talent on your team for a decade and you couldn't put up 15 points in a game sometimes.
It's sad. It seems like we've wasted just an amazing defense and amazing punter last year, amazing special teams. And shout out to Tory Taylor on the Bears now. But
I was gonna say they couldn't stop talking about the Iowa punter on Monday Night Football.
Our biggest offensive threat.
Yeah. Baby.
Wow. It's just crazy. I can't believe we wasted that great defense over the last few years, and all we needed is just anybody to complete a single ball. That's sad.
Score 20 points.
Sweet.
So this is always tough, you know. Dean and I went to the Minnesota game last week, and it was a riot. It was a good time. They put up 27-0, which is good, against the Nevada team that you figured they would. Minnesota's got some offensive weapons on here, so they'll test the defense, I do believe. It'll be very tough. What scares me is that Iowa's putting up more than 20 points in some games, and that's just kind of unheard of right now, even if it's against Troy or whoever they play this year. Their offense is kind of churning, and that's the scary part. I think it's going to be a great game, but I wore this shirt for a reason. We're sticking with the Gophers, staying true to the homeland, because all in all, who hates Iowa? We hate Iowa. Thank you, Dad. Perfect timing. Take Minnesota. Floyd of Rosedale coming home to Minnesota.
Normally, the last 5 years, this game makes me really, 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 really nervous because Iowa's defense is so good. It feels weird to give the nudge to the Gophers on the defense. Their defense has been phenomenal. Even against UNC, they did everything but kick the field goal to win the game.
Right.
8 straight quarters of shutout ball, which I'm happy with.
Granted, that is against Rhode Island and Nevada.
Oh yeah.
But still, it doesn't, like, just think, like, 2 games without giving up a point or a field goal is an impressive feat, because that's one big play in a field goal and point. So it is a nice feat.
And the Gophers and the Hawkeyes have both, they stubbed their toe. Gophers didn't make the field goal against UNC. Last minute
that
play.
Cy-Hawk trophy there, Weber.
Trophy to go into the Cyclones. You just gotta believe.
That's it. Shirt. It's all in the shirts, Weber. It's
Gophers will win, will
Yep.
cover, and they'll throw the graffiti down.
There we go. Yeah, I didn't prepare you for the cinematics over there. Yeah, it'll draw you out. Weber, I'm not even going to touch on the Cy-Hawk trophy, but
It was brutal. Yeah, I think the Gopher Iowa game, it's going to come down to Iowa's been running the ball very well.
Yeah.
So if they can get Caleb Johnson, and they just actually brought Jaquiz Patterson, he's another little scat back up in the depth chart this week. If they can run the ball and give Cade McNamara time at the play action, then I feel confident with us. But our defense the last couple of weeks has been too much of ball hawk university and kind of hitting the out routes and stuff, and they've getting burned specifically on the Cy-Hawk game where they are just getting beat deep, and it's just causing the defensive coordinator Phil Parker to go up a wall. Yeah. So if they can hold the big plays and keep the Gopher quarterback in check and limit those and run the ball, then it goes our way. But if we can't do two of those things, then it's 99.
And if one of the two quarterbacks can, I mean, McNamara and Brosmer are both, basically it's their first year. They're expected to produce something. They're both slowly accelerating, but neither one of them has stepped out that much.
I think it's going to be a real exciting game. I have a feeling it's going to come down to who has the ball at the end of the game. I think it's going to be within 7 points, obviously, the entire game. And I feel it's going to come to, all right, who's got the ball at the end? I bet you, with Iowa, if they're trying to run it with a little lead, they can take a 3-point lead into the fourth quarter and just run, milk the clock. 3 yards in a cloud of dust for them. I bet you that's probably their dream scenario right about there. So I think it's going to be a super fun game to watch.
It's and it's NBC's primetime game so that we can see all sorts of punter action.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, I love it. The picks went exactly the way I thought them. Go for Iowa. Floyd of Rosedale on the line. We're excited to see it. It's going to be a good one. Well, we got 2 picks left. All right. Not as exciting, but here we are. Michigan State traveling to the East Coast, playing Boston College. Boston favored 6.5 points against Michigan State. Weber, let's hear it.
I've got Boston College. They looked good against a pretty terrible Florida State team. Mm-hmm. I think they're riding high on that still. Michigan State's still kind of looking lousy with the new head coach. Trying to figure out what they're doing in East Lansing there, but I've got Boston College. Unfortunately, got to go away from Big Ten on this one.
Yeah, you know what? I went against Michigan State covering or preventing the spread last week. It was close. It was literally 40.5, and they won by 40. So we're going to ride that thin red line right there, and we are also going to go Boston College. We see, Weber, we come apart, and we come together.
We come together.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Come together. Boston College, going to win, going to cover. Don't like Michigan State.
I'm with both of you. So many penalties, 132 for Michigan State, wow. 98 in giveaways in the turnovers. Boston College, they're at home. They want to show that, hey, wait a minute, this is our conference. It's not the Big Ten. BC will win, will cover.
There you have it. You heard it here. All right, and last pick. This is interesting. This is an interesting one. Not sure how my take on this. Purdue traveling, not Oregon, but Oregon State. Purdue at Oregon State. Oregon State is favored by 6. A lot of knowledge here, Weber. I know you follow both of them just as close as you do with Iowa. So I know you got the rap sheet on them both.
I've got the Beavers on this one. I think Purdue is just licking their wounds from Notre Dame, and they're just a down program. I don't see them coming up with that, and they got to travel too because it's at Beaver Stadium, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's at Oregon
I've got Oregon State all the way on this one. Gosh, I'm going all away from Big Ten. I feel
I know.
Hey, you know what? It might be beneficial for you. You got to stick with them a little bit, but at the same time, you got to know the Big Ten as well as you and I and my dad knows. Like, they're not gonna win and cover. I was in awe when I saw the Purdue Notre Dame final score. Like, one, I hate Notre Dame, so I hated that. You know, got some love for Purdue at some point in time, and I hated seeing them getting blown out. But that's a huge, huge defeat against. I'm still not sold on Notre Dame. Don't know if I ever will be. But again, I can't go against you, Weber. You make a lot of good points. They are a down program. They got beat up. I think they're going to try and get revved up, but I just don't think they have it. I'm going to go with the Beavers on this one. 6.5 is not that much. As one touchdown, that's easy. We're going with the Beavers.
So, quiz for you both. What conference do the Beavers play in?
Obviously not the Pac-12. It doesn't exist anymore. Thank you.
Actually, they're in the Pac-12. You can have two teams. It's them and WSU.
Is it really?
It is. And they're inviting 3 more to come in. The Pac-12 is still going, so I suppose they're in the title game.
There's a chance they'll make it.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There you go. There's your trivia for the day.
Yeah, they want that conference championship.
Right.
I'm going with both of you on this. OSU will win, will cover. Purdue is just they gave up 600, just under 600 yards against Notre Dame.
That's nuts. That's 2 games worth of offense in one.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that I'm like, dang, Notre Dame put up 600 yards, and I'm still sitting here confidently going, don't believe in them. Not a chance. I don't buy in on that Irish garbage. Like, I don't care. You can throw stats at me. I will literally just sit there and be like, I hate Notre Dame because they're stupid. Thanks.
But remember when they had that Jeff Brom, who's now went to Louisville, he was an offensive genius, and that was the only thing Purdue was good at was offense. You could compete with anybody, and they beat Ohio State that one time, and they could sling the ball, and he was just great. But ever since he left, they're not the same program.
No pull.
Oh goodness! Now
here we go, boys.
I don't know if it's easy or difficult for you. I know I'm going to have a hard time with this, but going through your picks for your confidence bonus point, what game do you feel the most confidence will happen?
Oh man,
it's tough. I was gonna say I can almost tell you right now it's probably not going to be a big spread game because that just makes me terribly uncomfortable.
You know what? If I'm not going to go with my Hawks, then I might as well not be a Hawkeye fan. So I'm putting my confidence pick on the Iowa flipping Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it right there.
Hook 'em Hawks. Hook 'em Hawks.
Hook 'em Hawks.
get those Hook 'em Hawks going right there. It's pretty common knowledge. I'm not a diehard Minnesota Gopher fan as you, so I'm not going to challenge your confidence pick with my Minnesota Gophers. Just throwing that out there. To be honest, the one that just is kind of screaming out to me right now,
Indiana.
No, not Indiana. I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech as my confidence pick. I just think Rutgers traveling to them is not going to happen. I don't know why it's easier to pick against the Big Ten for my confidence pick, but that's just where my gut's sitting right now. Or maybe, 6 of these Busch Lights. Who the heck knows? But we're going to go Vatek on this one.
You guys can see I'm going with the easy steal. USC to win and cover confidence pick. That one's just like taking candy from a baby, which again, Harrison, I would not take candy from you.
No, he's got wicked grip strength. It is crazy. All right. And then he'll make some noises and everything like that. He's a rowdy dude. All right. Don't let the cute face and the great comb over hair that he's got. He's vicious and he'll get you. That's for darn sure. Well, just like that, Weber, episode come and gone. Picks are made. I'm not going to lie. You and I have a lot of similar picks, but I guess that's why we got along living together for 4 years. Not 4 years, but we were neighbors / living together for 4. I did live with you for freshman year. I slept on your futon for the whole
time. So we did live together.
So we lived together for 4 years. It was beautiful 4 years. Obviously, we have a lot of similarities, and still carries on. And it was awesome to have you on here, and hopefully, I had a good time.
Appreciate it, guys. Glad to be on.
Not to make you feel
Ryan. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I gotta share this story. I was golfing a couple weeks back with younger kids. They're definitely younger. And, we went to the University of Minnesota and whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, I went to Winona State. And oh, yeah. When did you graduate? I got a couple buddies that went there. And I'm like, I know your buddies and I did not overlap at all. And I said, well, I graduated from Winona State in 2015. And he goes, oh, yeah. They're not that old. And
so you're an old fart. That's what they basically said to you.
Yeah, they're like, the hair fooled me. Until you told me when you graduated from college, which literally is nuts. At the end of this school year, Weber, your 10-year anniversary is coming around in December.
I know. That's what's yeah, that is wild.
Dude, 10 years after college, and here we are still talking college football and having a grand old time.
I know. I was joking the other day is times are different when we wake up in college and we would just everybody would mosey on down the living room and we just watch College Game Day for the entire day. And then that TV wouldn't turn off until the Pac-12 midnight game was done. But
correct.
Nowadays it's different with
that TV was on 8 a.m. till about 2 a.m. Constantly.
It's just football all day. God.
So
it's beautiful. Beautiful days.
30 years since my Winona State graduation.
Wow.
There you go.
Which, by the way, I'm just let you both know I'm working with the ed department and working with them on how students and going into teaching need to sell their stuff beyond a newsletter because they need to tell the story and not trust that the kids are coming home and telling the story. So that's exciting. More to come on that.
More to come. Absolutely. Side plug. And that being said, hey, group of Winona State grads making some picks. Cannot beat it. Weber, it's been absolutely awesome having you here. Hopefully you had a good time, but in the Sports Stalls way, we break it down like a huddle. We put our hand in front of the camera, and we go 3, 2, 1 Sports Stalls. So bring it in with me. Ryan Weber, ladies and gentlemen. Sports Stalls on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sports Stalls.
Boom. And that is a wrap, baby.